uh, basically town that they call Britain. This is what they call the Brit Bridge. Basically, uh, wander down here to create it. Called Moonglow. It's another little town that they got. See all the bank sitters there's going at the bank. Like little houses that people facing. They call the moon. Go to Britain, Buxton, which is like where the Reds got cooked at Jaloom. Their Jaloom, like Jinxia, it's where Counselor Meads, yeah, Minik, Mungo, Aklo is where like sort of where the players start out at. As you can see, there's a bunch more people players start playing at. They got a bunch of like houses, like player based houses that they play vendors stuff. You can gotta farm the gold, but then it's just easier. They call vendors stuff on there for prices and buy. Got Serpent's Hold with Scarabray, sort of like the tamer town. You know what I mean? Trensic School. Got Vesper, U. Then they got this little like event center thing. It's where most people hang out. It's like a new safe zone because of Minix. Four different factions. Have guild. Pretty gates to the towns. You want them at Buxton is usually where like the Reds hang out at. Which always was that little jumper stuff. Stable here inside of this guy's the spirituality shrine. We're like running around as a ghost. Find like one of these. It's called a ankh. It's like how you come back. You know what I'm saying? Got a bunch of those. I'd sit here, find a rune library, bounce them, showing you. What we were just at was like dungeon, right? So like gold looking, run around, you mark runes, dungeons. Basically, like if you draw like the hot spots where all the going, so farming, got Shane, Terry Keep, High Law, Fire, Despise, I bunch of different dungeons. Majority most Cove, Deceit, Despise, Discord, High Law, Shame, Wrong, Ice, Fire. And there's Champ Spawn. Which are actually show you. See, here's another one of the Ankh thing that they have. This one's in it. Sometimes if they don't have like an Ankh in the dungeon, you inside of it, and you run around and look for like a wandering hero. This is like the champ spawn for the sword. You like double click this little thingy, and like start like the champ process. There's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like started the weaker monsters, then you work your way up to like basically the dragons and bigger monsters and stuff. This is what we call good old the star there, bud. Right, houses and stuff, sort of like PK houses or hotspot houses and stuff like that. And different levels to the dungeon. So you have this is like basically level one, right? And then you run around, and then this stuff takes you to level two, and then it has like tougher monsters. First level of the start is drakes and dragons and wyverns is what. Second level is shadow worm. So like even tougher dragons, just different. Guys, that's some little mage arch mage. Then you run down to level three, and that's where like the ancient worm is, right? So like a bigger, stronger dragon, you call it whatever. Then you run over here to the little sparkle thingies, and takes you to a whole nother fucking dungeon. Now we in now. Oh snap! Oh yeah! And I'll show you where like the hotspot is for this one, right? Like the hotspot dungeons. That little a little Easter bunny. Yeah, I bet you that thing is beastly. Watch it spawn like a giant dragon. Oh, Fluffy X. That thing's probably nasty. Basically, you run around in the dungeons, right? So this is the seat now. This is where they like Lich Lords are. So just things that give good gold. You know what I mean? So Lich Lords, Dragon, that probably little fluffy bunny thing will probably give some cool stuff. That thing, but it's probably pretty good. And you run around. There's other levels like this level has like the champ spawn on it. Has just regular liches, skeleton, teeth, skull, silver serpent, shades. You know what I mean? Tons of different places are bad, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. This is the nearer champ. So basically like the same thing as like this that the star champ. They're just different. Bunch of those. Run through the ice stuff. Show you like a white worm. So those are like a dragons, right? But this is white worm. You know what I mean? So it's different. It looks different. Still just as good, basically like a dragon is. This is like one of those little demon things called an ice fiend. Come down here. This is like for the little event, the clover golems, where the ice fiends are. This is like good gold areas. Oh damn! Look at that damage. Almost sharded. Oh, oh, eaters. And you could also do like the ogre lord, which also, and they respawn at a decent enough rate. It's like fast enough to be able to get decent gold from it if you're like farming or the Arctic. Got high loss, which is like the deep hellhounds and all that stuff. Collector of souls, right? Looks somebody was sitting here, all this. Got this. Look a body. Got on there. Got demons. You got succubuses. Got imps, gargoyles, serpents, and there are also a bunch of different levels to this dungeon. Most dungeons have like levels, and then like some of them have like little secret hidden like zones in it. Like say this one, right? It's almost like you got to take a certain path to be like bounce you back to right here. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like see, or I ran up on this side, and probably I cut over and run up a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to be able to do all that stuff, or you just go like, you know what I mean? Instead of But if you enjoy, the puzzle type stuff, that's pretty. These are like little houses that you place. This is a tower. This is like a patio. This is like a castle. You got log cabins. You got L shape. You got brick houses. You got small houses. This is called. You know what I mean? Ton of different ones. So, like this is a small tower. You know what I mean? Bunch of different. Uh, it's a bunch of like different little like play styles. So you know what I mean? You could like a Dexter, which is like a you could have axes. You could have swords. Have just a bunch of different weapons. So maces, spears. You could have archery, crossbows, and then like this is say like the little house that you place, and then you get to basically live in it, decorate it, make it look easy, and equipment, all that stuff in it. You know what I mean? See how we have like basically you can see we do a lot of people thing, right? So these are like heads of people that we run around and cut up. I mean, so each one of these is basically somebody else that was running around playing, and we dunked them and then cut them up and then put their head on top of the tower. You know what I'm saying? So when anyone else like runs by, they see the basically the Tower of Terror, right? Or fucking like tower with a bunch of heads on it, which is pretty cool. You know, the little things, right? You know what I mean? And you can place like little guild stones, guilds, or like a room book of a bunch of different towns. So you got Britain, Buxton, Coatia, Low, Mining, Jaloom, Edgeloom, Aklo, Serpent's Hole, Scarab Bray, Trinsic, Vesper, U. I'll show you Trinsic. That was always Trinsic, Britain, Low. Yeah, I've been playing Albion, dude. Yep, yep, yep. Sitting a different, you know, trying to explore a little bit, network, expand, meet new people, But then, like, say, like in the towns, right? They have banks. So this is like, you just say bank. Well, okay, so you could basically got to be a little closer to it. Say bank, and then this is like a safe strong box. You know what I mean? This is where you put your stuff. It's a little, cool guy in his plate mount, dude. Body sash, his halberd. Fucking got the blacksmithy, right? So you could craft weapons there. They have like an anvil, a forge. You could say vendor buy and buy items off of it. It's almost like the same thing as those vendors I was showing you. So, you know what I mean? If you need stuff, you could buy stuff off of them. They got weapons, they got ingots, which make the armor, right? They're almost like, just the metal that makes it, but they just call it an ingot. Got the mage shop, so that's where you find the spells or the rags. You know what I mean? Scrolls. They got the innkeeper. That's where you could like log out at. Basically, got the animal trainer. Buy horses there. All kinds of fancy animals. I'll actually show you that. That's pretty cool. Buy a cat, a dog, a horse. Again, pack horse, a pack llama, a rabbit, an eagle, brown bear, grizzly, panther, timber wolf. You even buy a little fucking rat, dude. Look, you buy the shepherd's hook. Buy one of them. Oh, so basically, you need the gold in your bag to buy it, right? So if you have gold, you can't just leave it in your bank and then buy it, unless it's like over a certain amount. If it's over like a certain amount, or off of like a vendor, then it'll just let you buy it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and par left AC. Oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. How's that going? How's that going there, bud? Bought me a damn fucking shit. Eat. Wording the sheep, baby. Wording the sheep. You got provisioners, you got bakers, you got jewelers, you got healers. So that's basically, like Trinsic, right? And this is like your little mini map. You have this little arrow at the top left here. Click on it. You have your mini map. You have your paper doll, which is this thing, right? You have your inventory, which is your bag. You have a journal, which, like, just shows up the stuff that you run by, right? So as you're, say, like walking by stuff, you know what I mean? Where you press all, whatever you have all names to, and then their name pops up. That's what then pops up in the journal. So as you're basically walking by people, it's it basically like takes a journal of them as you walk by them. You know what I mean? Say like, if things they say, you know what I mean? Like, see how I just said that and then it popped up in the journal? You know what I mean? So basically it sort of like tracks and records everything as you walk around. So yeah. Blacksmithy, right? Remember we were talking about that. Oh, here's a barkeep, dude. Come up in here and chill out on a little thingy and even probably buy some ale. Oh, look, a bread loaf. Oh, baked apple pie. Oh, a skillet. Look at a roast pig, tomato soup. You got bowls of corn, bowls of lettuce, bowls of peas, bowls of potatoes. What? Shit, bowl of peas? Like, look at that. Oh, you can buy cake, muffins, dude. Eaters. Here, look, a bottle of ale, bottle of wine, bottle of liquor. I mean, that's where you also buy like the vendors at houses and stuff. Oh, that's cool, dude. Number one season rankings. Oh yeah, always good to hear. You know what I mean? Must be having some fun over there, dude. Getting that Gucci loot. This is like another bank, right? So remember, I said say bank at that and this. So basically, the one bank you have is like to the bank for. Even though there was that big one over there, you say bank, the same stuff's going to show up if you're over here at this one and say bank, or say here, let's go to Vesper. And then it's like sort of the same type of like vendors and stuff like that. Like this is basically the Vesper Bank. That one that we were just at was it, but the same stuff is going to show up at this bank that would at that bank. You know what I mean? They have the Mage Alchemist. You can make potions. Like brew your little witchcraft potions or whatever. You got jewelry, fancy, have bracelets, earrings, necklaces. You got Fletcher. You can make bows, crossbows. That actually is the painter. Okay. There. Even have painting and stuff. Got the bard, right? So like musicianing ship and all that stuff. So a drum, a tambourine, a harp, a lute. You know what I mean? These are the skills that you have, right? These are all like basically the skill tree in a way. These are all the skills you gain. Got alchemy, blacksmithing, bowcraft, fletching, carpentry, cooking, fishing, healing, herding, lockpicking, lumberjacking, mining, musicianship, remove trap, snooping, stealing, stealth, tailoring, tinkering, veterinarian. This is just miscellaneous, right? That's just basically sort of like the crafting uh, skills that you can gain. And these are combat skills. Then you have archery, fencing, mace fighting, parrying, which is shields, like parrying. So that's like carrying a shield around with one-handed mace or one-handed spear. Then you have swordsmanship, which is like swords or axes. Then you have tactics, which basically just like helps you like be able to hit your swings. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to be a swordsman, you would need tactics with that. You know what I mean? So that your your swings wouldn't miss, basically. You know what I mean? Then you have what they call action, so animal taming, begging, cartolo- cartography, basically, which is like maps or whatever, and detect hidden, which means you can kill people that are like hidden. Enticement, hiding is just hiding. Peacemaking is for like bards, so you could like peace make a monster, and it would just sit there. You know what I mean? Got poisoning. You got weapons, provocation, which you use for the musicianship. You got spirit speed. You got tracking, right? So you could run around and use the tracking skill, track people in the area. You know what I mean? Like say if you were looking for somebody special or just somebody at all, you have tracking. So you would just run around and tracking, and then like a little arrow thing will open up and blink red, and then you basically start chasing whoever you're tracking. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. And lore and knowledge. So animal lore, arms lore, forensic evaluation, item identification, taste identification. So item identification is basically like say if you run around and you're like farming mobs or whatever and you get like a weapon and it says unidentified. That's basically then you just identify it and then it gives you like they have like vanquishing is like the best weapon. They have might, they have a bunch of different kind of weapons that, which is pretty cool. You know? Have anatomy, evaluating intelligence, which this one like so this bottom right here because you could have a seven skill cap. See how it says 700.0? You could have seven skills. So anatomy, evaluating intelligence, encryption, magery, meditation, resistance spells, wrestling. So I basically have wrestling and anatomy to stun, right? So if I basically run up to somebody, I could stun them and they'll freeze in place. You know what I mean? And then evaluating intelligence basically just adds more damage to the spells you're casting. Encryption is being able to reflect more uh like spells. So if somebody, casts like an explosion, well I might be able to like two or three explosions before I actually get hit by anything. You know what I mean? So encryption is also really magery is for the ability to cast all the spells, spell book like this, and then there's 8 circles, right? And then each circle has different spells. So you gain magery to be able to cast up to the eighth circle spell. You know what I mean? We'll talk about those. Like, meditation is for mana. This is like your life bar, right? See how when you highlight or when you scroll over top of it, you highlight green or blue or red or whatever. You know what I mean? It's green because I'm in a guild. So the top one is your hit points, the middle one is your mana, the bottom one's your stamina. And then you could also double click that and then it just shows you your character status, right? So this is like, the name of your character, top row. Then this little muscle looking thing is your strength, the feet looking thing is your dex, the little brainy looking thing is your intelligence, right? So then you have your hit points, stamina, mana, have your maximum status, which is 225, which means you could have 100 of this one, 100 of this one, 25 of this one. That's basically what 225 means. This is your luck, so that's like could say like some gear you're wearing could get you for luck. And then this is your weight, so your carry weight. So this basically carry this one 369, right? And this is your backpack. So I could have up to 369 stones before I start losing decks. You know what I mean? Because if I have too much stuff in my bag, I'll start to lose stamina. Because if you're overweight, you can't. You know what I mean? Like you can't walk. This is like your sword damage. This is the gold that you have. This is the basically. See how I have the horse right here. This is 1 out of 8, so you can have up to 8 horses if you want, or say dragons or whatever. This is like the armors that I have on, which is called leather armor right now. So it'll a leather neck piece, leather chest, leather arms, leather gloves, leather legs, and then you also have the mask, right? So I have a fancy mask, so or it would just be a helmet. You know what I mean? and then that's how you get to 26 physical resistance, fire resistance, 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 energy resistant. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of cool different, a lot of cool stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of fancy cool. Let's go show you some more towns, right? Let's show you. Show you. This is Moonglow, right? Moonglow Mage. These are sigils. So if you wanted to join one of the four factions, right? So you have Shadow Lords, which is S short for SL. You have Counselor Mages, which is COM. You have True Britons, which is TB, and what Minec? Yeah, Minec. So which is just, I mean, Minec, Minec. There's short for that one. So you have the like faction townstone, right? And then you have the sigils, right? So if you run around and capture the sigils, like say if I had like stealing or whatever, I would run up to this thing, and if I was in a different faction, I would steal it and then run it back to your base, and then it has to sit there for like a day, and then you come back here and place it back here, and then your faction basically like owns that town. You know what I mean? You have carpentry, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? You could craft staffs, quarter staffs. You know, there's basics: nails, axle, boards, draw knife. You know what I mean? Score all kinds of fancy saws, hammers, and with those, you could then like make stuff from that. So you buy like one of those, you double click it, and then like a little option bar. This is the alchemist. So you have refresh potions, which give you stamina. Say if you're running low on stamina, the agility potion gives you like extra stamina. So say if I have 34, I drink a agility potion, that'll go up, you know, in points. But it those the potions don't last long. The stamina just will take you up to full stamina, and that lasts however long your stamina lasts. The agility potion and then strength potion just it's sort of like temporary added health. So night sight is like so you can see at night, right? You have heal potion, so that adds health bar. You have poison potions, and that's for your weapons. You have explosion potions, which like PvP, you run around and like throw the explosion potions at people. And the mortar and pistol, right? That's how you basically make those. So you would buy empty bottles, right? And then the mortar and pastel, whatever, and you would double click this, and then you would be able to then click on the option of this is like a weaponsmith or an armorer, which is basically like just a same as a blacksmith almost. You know what I mean? They just might sell a little bit more. These are things where you buy band aids and you know basics. You know, so got the food shop, which you know what I mean, and it like helps you like with your stamina and stuff like that. You know, got a bunch of ton of different type of decorations. You know what I mean? This is like the fisher. This is where you know you could go fishing, catch some fish. You could like buy a boat and place a boat. They got here I'll show you the here bring that little map thingy back up. I show you like how they so like little roads outside of town. So you see the bottom left corner says you have left the protection of town guards, which is basically like if you're sort of in town, you're basically safe unless like you go gray, which is like basically criminal. Then you know you can get like guard whacked. And then you know you sit here and run around. This is almost basically like the island of Moon, right? And then see how the bottom left corner says now you are under the protection of the town guard. And then these are like little like speedways basically almost get to other sections of it. You know what I mean? And then over here, which is pretty fancy, right? This is pretty super. So now we're in like Delucia, right? So this is like totally different town now. You know what I mean? So you could like sit here and bounce around from town to town. Oh, oh yeah, baby. Damn, it's been a while, but I still got it. Yeah, gurk, gurk, gurk. There's the vet, the animal trainer. You got the blacksmith, keepers up. West. This is like basically Moonbow Bank, as I showed y'all earlier. Same bank stuff. Like, look here, we even have a ship in the bank. You know what I mean? So I could run around and place that ship wherever I wanted to, as long as it's in. Can't place a ship and land. You know what I mean? Same goes for like like how these little houses can't place the little houses like in the towns or whatever. You know what I mean? You gotta find like open areas, other places to be. See how like these guys place them near the moon gate because they're like sort of hot spots. You know what I mean? That's where you make good money. And then you run around and you see all the little tiny houses that people. Yeah, once I basically ran up and seen the eagle, it popped up on the journal. It does that for everything. These are basically wandering healers. Like say if you're running around as a ghost, well you can be a wandering healer and help you out though. You know what I'm saying? Back to the Brick Bridge, right? You know what I mean? That's where you do a lot of PvP in there. A lot of fun. These are like basically like bulletin boards, right? So this one is just the duelist leader. So you know what I mean? They even have a bunch of cool stuff like that. They got ones for like like post up message board. This is Brit Bank. You got the hook over there, the jeweler. It's almost like tinkering shop, right? Up here is like pretty cool. This is where like the TB or True Britain's faction used to be, but they have it a different spot. But I'm gonna show you this just because it's like the little cool little castle room stuff like that. You know, they got the little shield and oh yeah, baby, look how cool that looks. Oh oh, you know what I'm saying? Just fancy, you know, just a little thing, right? Fancy little. They got all the fancy decorations. You know, yeah, it's pretty cool. LeBron, is there a CVC? Nah, there ain't no launches. So I mean, no. And you basically just run around the town and basic. This is Martlock. What? No, this ain't even Albion, bro. What? What? It's a totally different game. This is like the graveyard, right? So they got zombies, skeletons. You know what I mean? This is like where, like, as like a new player, you come in like training basically, and these are just other people's houses. Yeah, how you gonna be like? Is this smart lock? Bro? Like what the shit, bro? It ain't even out yet. Damn, damn, bro. It looks that. I mean, I know they clearly copied off of this one, so. And then this is like the true Britain stuff. So like if I wanted to sign up for this faction, I would just double click that. Message thing would come up. But like, see, can't really even run in that zone. You could only run in the faction zones unless you're in a faction. Dude, I still play. I still play out here. I figured I'd get on this real quick, do a quick little rundown, and then probably get on that for a bit. You know, I'll show you guys this. This is pretty cool. But like for Britain, it's like a real big city. So there's like west side and east side, and then these are like the sh- different shrines that they have, right? They have honor, so basically almost like virtues, right? You could also double click this thing above the the top of your paper doll, and it also tells you the same, basically the same, right? So it's 8 here, so 8 different ones. So you have valor, you got sacrifice, you got humility, you got compassion, spirituality, honor, honesty, justice, right? And same thing, but like each of them do different things, right? So like you see how like they're just gray. You know, you could level them up to like the top and then get like bonuses and stuff like that from 'em. You know what I mean, like some of them do. They all basically do certain stuff. You status, click on them, and then it's sort of like I guess some of them you haven't started on. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of different like compassion, and then it just gives you a definition of basically sort of that is in a way. You know what I mean? And then you basically level up all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeet. I didn't even play. We been in Limhurst lately, playing over there on that side for Martlock got like boring. Okay. But yeah, so that's basically a little gist of the town, some of the dungeons, you know, a bunch of cool. And these are like little things that you get in put in your like basically base. This is like sort of like a base, which is pretty cool. You know, got spell books, rune books. You got wands, right? You throw your wand on. It's like you run and cast rather than be able to have to stop. This bunch of different spells. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool. It's actually 64, right? And then you just go down the spell book. See, you got first circle to eighth circle, right? The eighth circle is like takes more mana. You know what I mean? And takes longer to cast. First circle, it's like quick to cast. Doesn't take as much mana. There are some like certain spells that basically like do like you could click on it, right? This one just says bless, and these are the regrants needed. Or like man, double click that, you click this, and then you sort of figure out what it does. So this one adds to your basically health dex in your mana. Then you have it just there's some spells that cast that like do support things, or some spells that are like for like objects, or some like mobs or monsters, whatever. And then you could also like summon stuff. That's a purple pot, by the way. Throw those. Like I could summon an air elemental, I could summon a demon, I could summon an earth elemental, fire elemental, water elemental, or just summon creature, which is like, just like a basic animal, like the alligator. I could summon that if I want. You know what I mean? Polymorph, right? So you could change into, all these different options. You got animals, you got monsters. You know what I mean? Pretty cool, pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might get on some Albion here now. I just did a quick little rundown of something different. So